Listen closely, HBAR holders, because there's one date looming on the horizon, a date etched in a Hedera governance calendar, that could very well shake the entire crypto market to its core. This isn't a fleeting rumor whispered in Telegram groups. This isn't baseless speculation fueled by hopium. This is grounded in historical precedent, in the very DNA of how the Hedera network evolves, and it's a date that every single person who holds HBAR, or even those considering dipping their toes in, needs to have circled in red on their digital and physical calendars. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments. And I will give you a heart. Mark your calendar, folks. Set a reminder on your phone. Tattoo it on the back of your hand if you have to. Because what transpires on this specific day, September 17, 2025, has, time and time again throughout Hedera's relatively short but incredibly impactful history, sparked massive price action. Rallies that have caught even the most seasoned traders by surprise, triggered significant market shifts that have influenced the trajectory of other cryptocurrencies, and pushed forward critical network upgrades that have fundamentally changed the game for Hedera, solidifying its position as a leader in the enterprise blockchain space. In a market often characterized by stagnation and sideways trading, this date represents a predictable yet potent catalyst, a pre-programmed event with the potential to ignite a new and significant rally. Miss this, and you might find yourself months down the line, staring at the charts with a gnawing sense of regret, watching the price soar from the sidelines and wondering how you could have possibly overlooked the glaringly obvious signal. We're going to dissect exactly what this pivotal date is, meticulously explain why it carries such immense weight, and most importantly, arm you with actionable insights on what you should be doing about it right now to protect your hard-earned capital and, more excitingly, to strategically position yourself to potentially maximize your gains. Alright, let's cut through the noise and get straight to the core of the matter. The date we're laser focusing on is Wednesday, September 17, 2025. Now, for those unfamiliar with the inner workings of the Hedera network, this might seem like just another Wednesday. But trust me, for HBAR holders, it's anything but ordinary. It's the currently scheduled date for a crucial high-stakes governance vote where the esteemed members of the Hedera Governing Council convene to deliberate and ultimately decide on significant protocol changes. These aren't minor tweaks or routine maintenance. We're talking about pivotal decisions that directly impact the very fabric of the Hedera network, influencing everything from transaction processing speeds and network fees to core functionalities and even the fundamental architecture that underpins its scalability and security. Think of the Hedera Governing Council as the board of directors for this groundbreaking digital asset. It's comprised of some of the most influential and respected organizations in the world, names you know, brands you trust. These entities don't just passively oversee the network, they actively participate in its evolution, voting on proposals that shape its future. And these votes, my friends, are not just academic exercises. They have a tangible and often dramatic impact on the market value of HBAR. In the past, similar governance votes have consistently triggered not just significant technical upgrades that have enhanced the network's capabilities, but also massive and often volatile swings in BAR's price. This isn't conjecture. This is documented history. Let me pull up the charts and walk you through a few key examples. Cast your minds back to November 2023. One of the key proposals on the table was a significant reduction in the gas fees associated with running smart contracts on the Hedera network. At the time, high transaction costs were a major barrier for developers looking to build decentralized applications, dApps, on Hedera. The Governance Council overwhelmingly approved the proposal. The immediate market reaction was one of cautious optimism. But as developers started flocking to the network, drawn by the prospect of significantly lower fees, and as the media picked up on this game-changing development, investor confidence soared. The result? BAR's price witnessed a dramatic surge, climbing over 60% in a matter of weeks. And this wasn't just a pump and dump, it laid the foundation for sustained growth and increased adoption. Fast forward to March 2024. Another critical governance vote focused on increasing the network's transaction throughput, the number of transactions Hedera could process per second. Again, the council voted in favor of the upgrade. While the price reaction wasn't as explosive as the fee reduction, we still saw a healthy and sustained upward trend, reflecting the market's recognition of Hedera's commitment to scalability and its ability to handle a growing volume of enterprise-grade applications. And guess what? The broader crypto market took notice. These decisive actions by the Hedera Governing Council didn't go unnoticed by institutional investors and analysts. It sparked renewed investor confidence, demonstrating that Hedera wasn't just a promising technology, It was a network with strong leadership and a clear vision for the future. This, in turn, led to a broader wave of buying pressure, not just for HBAR, but for the entire Hedera ecosystem. That's precisely why this upcoming vote on September 17, 2025, could be a significant game-changer, not just for Hedera and its dedicated holders, but potentially for the entire crypto space, signaling a continued maturation and adoption of enterprise-focused blockchain technologies. Thinking back on past crypto events, can you recall a time when a seemingly small announcement or upgrade had a surprisingly large impact on the price of a cryptocurrency you were holding or watching? Type "my story" in the comments below if you have a specific example you'd be willing to share. I'd love to hear about your experiences and maybe even highlight some of them in a future video. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We've established that Hedera's governance votes are significant events. But what exactly could be on the table this time around? And what are the potential ramifications for HBAR holders like you? While the specific details of the proposals for the September 17th vote haven't been officially released at the time of this recording, August 11, 2025, here in Japan, we can glean some insights from recent discussions within the Hedera community, whispers from reliable sources, and the general direction of the network's development. Based on this information, here are some potential major protocol tweaks that the Hedera Governing Council might be considering. 1. A further significant reduction in transaction fees. While fees are already relatively low compared to some other major networks, there's always room for improvement, especially as Hedera aims to attract even more high-volume enterprise applications. A proposal for another substantial fee reduction could be incredibly bullish, signaling an even greater commitment to accessibility and affordability for developers and businesses. Imagine the possibilities if building on Hedera became virtually free. 2. A major upgrade to network throughput and finality. Hedera already boasts impressive transaction speeds, but the pursuit of ultimate scalability and near-instant transaction finality is an ongoing quest for all leading blockchain platforms. A significant upgrade in this area could position Hedera as the undisputed leader in terms of performance, attracting even more mission-critical enterprise use cases that demand speed and reliability. Think about applications in areas like global payments and supply chain management that could thrive on such a high-performance network. 3. The introduction of new core functionalities. This could involve the integration of new features directly into the Hedera protocol, such as enhanced support for tokenization of real-world assets, RWAs, or advancements in decentralized identity solutions. Such additions could unlock entirely new markets and use cases for the Hedera network, significantly increasing its utility and, by extension, the demand for HBAR. And 4. Formalized frameworks for interoperability with other major networks. In the increasingly multi-chain world of crypto, the ability for different blockchain networks to communicate and interact seamlessly is becoming paramount. A governance proposal outlining clear strategies and technical frameworks for interoperability with networks like Ethereum or even legacy financial systems could be a massive catalyst, broadening Hedera's reach and utility. If any, or even more excitingly, a combination of these kinds of proposals are approved, we could witness a substantial influx of institutional interest and developer activity. And as we've seen time and time again in the world of crypto, increased adoption and real-world utility almost invariably translate to positive price action for the underlying asset. However, it's crucial to acknowledge that governance votes can also introduce a degree of uncertainty. Sometimes, proposals might face strong debate within the council, leading to delays or even rejection. In other instances, major technical upgrades, while beneficial in the long run, could lead to temporary network adjustments or unforeseen issues in the short term, potentially causing some market jitters and temporary price dips. So while the potential for significant upside is certainly there, we also need to be prepared for the possibility of short-term volatility. I remember back in early 2022, I was heavily invested in another promising Layer 1 project. A major governance vote was scheduled, and the rumors swirling around the community were incredibly bullish. I was convinced the price was going to skyrocket. But the day of the vote came and went with no immediate announcement. The price actually started to dip, and a wave of fear, uncertainty, and doubt washed over the market. I almost sold everything in a panic. Thankfully, I decided to do some more digging and realized that the vote had indeed passed, but the implementation of the upgrade was going to take a few more weeks. Those few weeks felt like an eternity, but when the upgrade finally went live, the price not only recovered but went on a massive tear. It taught me a valuable lesson about the importance of patience and doing your own thorough research, especially around these critical governance events. So, with this crucial date rapidly approaching, what's the smart strategy for HBAR holders like yourselves? How do you navigate this potentially market-moving event to protect your investments and potentially capitalize on the opportunities? Here's your strategic playbook for the next few weeks leading up to September 17th. 1. Mark that date and set multiple reminders. This might sound elementary, but it's absolutely crucial. Don't just mentally note September 17th. Open your digital calendar, set multiple alarms leading up to the date, and even jot it down on a physical notepad where you'll see it regularly. You want this date to be firmly ingrained in your awareness. 2. Set up comprehensive news and price alerts. Don't rely solely on this channel for updates. Configure alerts on your preferred crypto exchange for significant price movements in HBAR. Simultaneously, set up news alerts for official announcements from the Hedera Hashgraph Foundation and prominent crypto news outlets that cover Hedera. Being among the first to know about any official confirmations or unexpected developments can give you a significant edge. 3. Actively monitor social media and community forums. In the days and hours leading up to the governance vote, social media platforms like Twitter or X and community forums like Reddit's r/Hedera and the official Hedera Discord channels will likely be buzzing with discussions, speculation, and analysis. Pay close attention to the sentiment within the community, and keep an eye out for insights from key influencers, developers, and analysts who are closely following the Hedera ecosystem. However, remember to always approach information from social media with a healthy dose of skepticism and do your own due diligence. 4. Carefully assess your individual risk tolerance and investment goals. This is perhaps the most important step. Before any potentially volatile event like a governance vote, it's essential to honestly evaluate your personal risk tolerance and your overall investment objectives. Are you a long-term hodler with a multi-year time horizon? Or are you a more active trader looking to capitalize on short-term price swings? Your answers to these questions will heavily influence your strategy. For long-term hodlers, you might choose to simply hold steady through the vote, viewing any short-term volatility as noise. However, you might also consider strategically adding to your position if the price dips significantly in the lead-up to the vote, based on the assumption that a positive outcome will eventually be reflected in the price. For active traders, you'll likely be looking for opportunities to capitalize on the expected volatility. This could involve setting tighter stop-loss orders to protect your capital in case of a negative surprise, or even considering taking some profits off the table in the days leading up to the vote if you've seen a significant run-up, with the intention of potentially buying back in after the uncertainty has passed. 5. Consider implementing risk management strategies. Regardless of your investment style, implementing basic risk management strategies is always a prudent approach, especially around potentially volatile events. This could involve setting stop-loss orders at levels you're comfortable with to limit potential downside, or diversifying your overall crypto portfolio so that your entire financial well-being isn't solely dependent on the outcome of this single event. 6. Stay informed, but avoid emotional decision-making. It's crucial to stay up-to-date with the latest news and analysis surrounding the governance vote. However, it's equally important to avoid making impulsive, emotionally driven decisions based on fear or hype. Stick to your predetermined strategy and avoid getting swayed by short-term market noise or the opinions of anonymous individuals on social media. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Based on everything we've discussed today, what's your current plan for navigating this crucial date on September 17th? Are you planning to hold steady and weather any potential storm? Or strategically accumulate more HBAR in the lead-up? Or take some profits or reduce your risk exposure before the vote? Or actively trade the expected volatility? Head down to the comment section right now and let the community know your strategy. Let's share our insights and learn from each other's perspectives. And if you have any specific questions or concerns about your plan, feel free to ask. I'll be actively engaging in the comment section after this video goes live. Remember, my friends, in the fast-paced and often unpredictable world of cryptocurrency, knowledge is your most powerful weapon. Being aware of key events like this upcoming Hedera governance vote and understanding their potential impact can give you a significant edge in navigating the market. Crypto rewards the prepared, not the surprised. By taking proactive steps and developing a well-thought-out strategy, you're positioning yourself to potentially capitalize on the opportunities that lie ahead. This date on September 17th could very well be the spark that ignites BAR's next significant upward move. Make sure you're ready for it. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. The future of HBAR could very well hinge on this date. Let's make sure we're all prepared for what's to come.